tried to silence him. They erased his name. But he rebuilt from nothing. He fought every algorithm. They tried again and failed. Now he's back, stronger. From blackout to spotlight, he's at the White House, at the top of his game. Franchi lives.
You are about to enter another dimension, the dimension of truth, unfiltered and uncensored. Welcome to the Raw Feed with Gary Franchi.
Truth ignites tonight. Airports under siege.
The speaker slips out a side door. Exit strategy already in motion.
The Raw Feed starts now.
Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live from the heart of America. Unfiltered truth to millions on YouTube. Hit those donation links below. Every contribution powers our gear. Every contribution keeps the party going. Help me help you. Hit those donation links. YouTube channel memberships. Special acknowledgement in the fellowship. Your super chats keep me standing. Your Rumble rants fuel every round.
Say hello to super chats.
Spread the intel. Every repost extends our reach.
Super chats fuel this spectacle. Your Rumble rants give me strength.
24/7 members only community, behind the scenes discussions.
Connect with fellow patriots.
My mama always said, life is like sharing the truth. Text this stream to your friends. What if I told you the app is real? Download the Next News Network app. Android users, take the Google Play path. iPhone users, App Store awaits.
Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi. Tonight's show brings us face-to-face with a moment in history that echoes another dark November day, this time from 2018. when the federal government endured what was then the longest shutdown in American history, 35 agonizing days. Back then, it was Trump versus Pelosi and Schumer, a battle over border wall funding that sent 800,000 federal workers home. The parallels today are chilling, except this time we've just broken that record, and the Democrats show no signs of backing down as we enter day 36. And just as that 2018-2019 shutdown exposed the Democrats' willingness to hold America hostage over border security, today's Democrat-orchestrated crisis reveals something far more sinister: a coordinated assault on the very foundations of our republic. From government paralysis to assassination threats, from deep state conspiracies to congressional corruption, we're witnessing the systematic unraveling of American institutions. Which brings us to our first bombshell tonight: America in chaos as the Democrat shutdown pushes our nation to the absolute brink. Workers are getting pink slips. Essential services are grinding to a halt. And while American families suffer, the political class in Washington plays Russian roulette with your future. This isn't governance, it's hostage-taking on a national scale. SNAP benefits have been slashed in half, leaving millions of Americans wondering how they'll feed their families. Air traffic controllers warning of catastrophic failures in our aviation system. And as you're watching this, planes are literally falling from the sky. And of course, the Democrats, they're holding firm. They're willing to watch it all burn rather than let President Trump fulfill the mandate that voters gave him. But the shutdown is only the tip of the iceberg. We've got explosive new developments in the Arctic frost saga, the CIA's secret Hillary Clinton protection racket that continues to unravel. New whistleblowers are emerging with damning evidence about James Comey's role in this conspiracy. Sources tell us the walls are closing in as more insiders break their silence, exposing how deep the corruption goes. The deep state's carefully constructed house of cards is collapsing, one revelation at a time. And tonight we've got the latest developments that will shake Washington. Speaking of threats to our democracy, or I should say our republic, we just witnessed another arrest in the escalating wave of violence against President Trump and his administration. Federal agents descended on 57-year-old Trent Schneider of Illinois after he posted a chilling Instagram video featuring, well, himself declaring that Trump should be executed. This is not isolated madness. It's part of a coordinated campaign of intimidation that has forced Trump officials like Stephen Miller into military housing for their family's safety. The left's rhetoric has crossed from opposition into outright incitement. Meanwhile, as violence escalates on one front, political earthquakes are shaking the establishment on another. Nancy Pelosi, the 85-year-old queen of Capitol Hill, has announced she won't seek re-election in 2026 after transforming herself from a modest congresswoman into a quarter-billionaire stock-trading virtuoso. Pelosi faces mounting pressure over insider trading allegations. Now, the timing is no coincidence. Jake Tapper's brutal questioning about her trades has sent shockwaves through her inner circle. The question isn't whether she'll enjoy her ill-gotten gains. It's whether justice will catch up before she escapes. Perhaps the most divisive development of all. Marjorie Taylor Greene stormed onto The View today in a calculated media offensive that's splitting the MAGA movement right down the middle. Refusing the expected WWE-style confrontation, Marjorie Taylor Greene instead preached unity and called for powerful voices to stitch America back together, triggering immediate backlash from figures like Laura Loomer, who accuse her of flirting with Democrats. Is this outreach or betrayal? Strategy or surrender? Now, these may be isolated incidents, my friends, but when they're all connected, they become threads in a tapestry of chaos designed to tear this nation apart. And here on the Raw feed, we're connecting those dots, exposing the truth, and fighting back with the most powerful weapon we have: information. So buckle up, patriots. Tonight's show is going to blow the lid off the biggest stories the mainstream media won't touch. This is the Raw feed, and the revolution will be live streamed. Let's welcome you to the show. Who's in the house tonight? Stock Jock, Alice Cersei, Truthy Ruthie, Tracy Belmer, Bill's Rules, Michael Jones, S. Evans, Donna Wilkinson. Great to see everyone here tonight. Scooby Dragon, Charles Lanier, Michael Cheney. Speaking of Cheney, yes, Darth Vader has passed away, gone officially to the dark side. So, yeah, one warmonger off this planet. Roger Thacker is here. Mrs. Potted Kenny, Jeff Ross, Bat Shiva Klein, Fran, James Sari, John, Jeremy Olson, Bruce Stuckey, Truthy Ruthie, Anita Sanderlin, James Fay, Jackie Alber, Lau Pist. Who else is here tonight? Ambient soothing sounds. Ha ha! Lena's here. America Has Heroes. Bell Stubblefield. R. Boyd, what's up? Fran in the house. Shauna Gunk. Scooby Dragon Connie. America Has Heroes. Everyone is filing in. Heather, I see you there. And Daisy Atnip. Breaking the seal here with a $10 per character super chat. Oh, well, look at that. We got Lena became a member. James Fay also dropping $5. Deborah Blue. James says, hello, N3 Patriots. Deborah Blue. Love it, Gary. Keep trumping. Love it. Wow, you guys are awesome. We are just getting started here. And I'm going to check the totals right now because our goal is 100 buckaroos. I know we can hit that number. You guys never fail me. Keeps the show going. We're already at $45 in chat revenue. That's beautiful. Tom B420 dropping $10 right out the gate. Thank you, sir. We are at $45. So we're already halfway to our goal, and the show has not even started yet. But we do have a lot of news to get to, especially these plane crashes. How interesting, right? Oh, yeah. Let's get into it, Brian. Thank you for the note. Patriots, we're witnessing the most cynical political hostage-taking in American history. Day 36 of the Democrats' shutdown, and they've just broken an all-time record. Federal workers can't pay mortgages. Food stamp recipients are getting half their benefits. Air traffic controllers are warning of closed airspace, and planes are literally falling out of the sky. Why? Because Democrats would rather watch America burn than let President Trump govern. They claim it's about health care subsidies, but we all know the truth. This is about power, pure and simple. They're willing to destroy millions of lives just to score political points, and what you're about to see will infuriate you. And as we wrap up 2025, it's time to reflect. Uncertainty isn't temporary anymore. It's our new reality. Waiting for normal isn't a plan. It's a gamble. And for over a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped Americans protect their families by diversifying with gold and silver. Real wealth isn't digital. It is physical. It's lasting, and it's yours. No one knows what 2026 brings, but in uncertain times, precious metals provide stability. This holiday season, surrounded by family, remember, the best gift isn't under the tree. It is peace of mind. Noble Gold delivers that peace 1 ounce at a time. So before year's end, take one smart step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. And find out if you can get the 10 1-ounce silver holiday coins with qualified accounts by calling that number, 877-646-5347. And tell my friends over there that Gary Franchi said hello. So the press briefing today was quite interesting, almost prophetic, in fact, because now we are seeing plane crashes, TSA agents walking off the job, horrific visuals in Kentucky, in Honolulu, a UPS flight bound for Honolulu, Hawaii. It's happening right now. And this is what the press secretary said today.
Reopen the modes. The administration is encouraging Democrats to reopen the federal government. Chaos and disruption to our air traffic control system in the United States of America stops. It is ridiculous that we have even gotten to this place and that the Democrats have continued to shut down the government with 35 days, our air traffic controllers continuing to work unpaid, every single major airline in our country coming out and begging the Democrats to please reopen the government. And you had a Democrat staffer who was quoted, I believe in Politico a few weeks back, saying, short of planes falling out of the sky, we are not going to reopen the government. That is a reckless and dangerous statement from someone who didn't want to put their name on that statement. But we know it came from the Democrat Party. And I think we're very clear. We want to reopen the government so we can resume travel in the safest and most efficient way possible, especially as we head into the busiest travel season of the month. We have Thanksgiving in a few weeks. And so Americans across the country need to make it very clear to their Democrat representatives that we want this government to be reopened so we can resume safe and efficient travel. Fran.
Short of planes falling out of the sky. And then we have this. Several sources confirmed the plane involved in the crash is a 34-year-old UPS MD-11, which took off from Louisville to Honolulu. There is the shot of the horror. We'll get to the TSA agents in a moment. Here's another shot of that plane. Supposedly slammed right into a petroleum recycling facility. Fireball. Up close angle, UPS flight 2976 in Louisville. Nick Sortor posting that. Secretary Sean Duffy, heartbreaking images coming out of Kentucky. UPS cargo flight 2976 crashed around 5:15 Eastern after takeoff from Louisville. Muhammad Ali International Airport en route to Honolulu. Aircraft was MD-11, McDonnell Douglas, MD-11. Join me in prayer for the Louisville community and flight crew impacted by this horrific crash. NTSB and FAA News are mobilizing to get on the ground and will lead the investigation. Now, I'm not saying that this is due to the shutdown, but these are the visuals. These are certainly the visuals that are on the horizon. And isn't it wild? The press secretary literally said, short of planes falling out of the sky. In Houston, almost all of the TSA workers decided they were sick of the crap and not getting paid, so they all left. Look at this. TSA agents in Houston.
Damn, ain't no TSA. This shit crazy.
TSA in Houston decided they were done and gone. And now passengers stranded.
This is crazy.
We're going to get to more of that in a moment. Here's another shot of the plane crash.
Hold on. Bro, get the fuck away from here. Like, turn around. Bro, no, hold on. I think it's going to crash, bro. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Damn, they're dead. They are dead, bro.
Those are the visuals, my friend. Here's another one. Look at this angle.
¡Oh, my God!
¡Ay, pinga!
¡Corre para atrás, papi! ¿Viste? Te lo estoy diciendo, Dios mío.
¡Ay, pinga!
¡Ay, Dios mío!
¿Pero qué pinga es? Vamos a ver.
Papi, cuidado.
Espérate.
¡Ay, Dios mío, señor!
No survivors. No survivors. The administration is encouraging Democrats to reopen the federal government so this chaos and disruption stops.
It's ridiculous. The administration is encouraging Democrats to reopen the federal government so this chaos and disruption to our air traffic control system in the United States of America stops. It is ridiculous that we have even gotten to this place and that the Democrats have continued to shut down the government with 35 days, our air traffic controllers continuing to work unpaid, every single major airline in our country coming out and begging the Democrats to please reopen the government. And you had a Democrat staffer who was quoted, I believe in Politico a few weeks back, saying, short of planes falling out of the sky, we are
short of planes falling out of the sky. CNN exposing Democrats for shutting down the government. CNN, of all places, Jake Tapper, even.
It's fault. Democrats are the ones that are not voting to fund the government. Now, I understand why they're doing so. They're doing so because of health care, and they want to fight, and they want Republicans to negotiate, et cetera, et cetera. The messaging by Democrats around this shutdown has been sharper than I've seen Democrats on any issue in a long time. They have convinced voters, Democratic voters and independent voters, that it's the Republicans' fault. And just on the numbers, that might not be actually accurate. Democrats are the ones.
Might not be actually accurate, he says. No, it's decisively not accurate. Here we have this SNAP recipient 24 hours ago.
All need each other. Go from having everything and to having nothing.
Joseph Cribb recently fell on hard times, saying he applied for SNAP just for the first time 2 months ago.
And they did award me food stamps, which I was very grateful for.
But when benefits didn't arrive, he found help from his neighbors instead.
When you find yourself on the other end of that, I don't know. We all need each other, yeah. Go from having everything and...
I hope Chuck Schumer's watching, but of course he doesn't care about that guy. Here's another one. A Charlotte woman on Section 8 housing receives $1,000 a month in food stamps.
And to rely on...
And between bills and food, now we're going to have to start making choices.
Carlicia Grice is one of more than 1.4 million North Carolinians who rely on SNAP benefits. She gets about $1,000 a month to feed her large family. But on Saturday, what happens next? It's been the only thing on her mind for the last few days.
Even that's not enough. And we're using cash to pay for food throughout the month, even going to pantries and just trying to make the ends meet because it's just not meeting.
SNAP benefits are set to expire on November 1st. The federal government, through the Agricultural Department...
She's using cash now. Must be something new for her. The Schumer shutdown is now the longest in history, says Senator Ted Cruz. Democrats are only keeping the government closed because they want to turn out their radicals for Election Day. Today, Republicans will vote for the 14th time to reopen the government for the American people.
Afraid their radicals will say, we're going to vote later today. Republicans will all vote for the 14th time to reopen the government. I'm going to predict to you right now, the Democrats will vote no. They will say later today, keep the government shut. Why? Because it's Election Day, and they want to turn out their radicals. And if they actually allow the government to open up, they're afraid their radicals will stay home, and they'll lose Virginia and New Jersey, and maybe even the mayor's position for Comrade Madani in New York. And so the Democrats will keep the government shut down. Now, my hope is they lose those elections anyway, and then they come back Wednesday or Thursday or Friday and say, all right, enough is enough. Let's reopen the government. Hey, we're going to vote later.
Well, of course, that vote failed. The government is still closed. Here is more from the press secretary about the contingencies.
Need to understand the administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position. We are digging into a contingency fund that is supposed to be for emergencies, catastrophes, for war. And the president does not want to have to tap into this fund in the future. And that's what he was referring to in his Truth Social post. So the Department of Agriculture, as for the latest SNAP payment in the judge's order, put out guidance to states today on how to get that money to the recipients of SNAP. But it's going to take some time. The best way to get the full amount of SNAP benefits to those beneficiaries is for Democrats to reopen the government. So to anyone who is a SNAP beneficiary at home who needs that assistance, and the president was just saying, this is for people who are truly needy, who need food, who need this assistance from the United States government. Democrats are holding it up and making it difficult for the administration to get those payments out the door. So if you are at home and you want your SNAP benefits, call the Democrats and tell them to reopen the government. The administration...
And I said this before. Once they release those funds, they're only going to last for about 3 weeks. So you're still going to have a huge gap from the time that those payments are released from the time they actually get to the beneficiaries. And then they're going to run out. And then what? We're back at ground zero. So that's why they don't want to release them, because they're for emergency purposes only. And Democrats are holding this whole thing up. We're digging into a contingency fund that's supposed to be for emergencies, catastrophes, for war. But this is none of that. This is political games. Well, I got a message here. Check this out. We got this from a pilot announcing some stunning news to passengers. But first, let's check in with this other clip from the press secretary about the nuclear option.
I think the president has been very realistic and strong in his position on the filibuster. He's been very vocal about it. I just spoke to him about it. He feels really strongly about this. Republicans need to play tough and they need to play smart. That's how the president feels. And we know that Democrats, if they are ever given a chance at power again in this city, they will absolutely take away the filibuster from the United States Senate. In fact, you had 49 Democrats who already voted to do this before. The only reason it did not move forward was because you had 2 Democrats who are no longer in office because they were run out of town by the far left radical base of their party. Wow. And so President Trump is quite clear on this. He wants to see Republicans move as many good pieces of legislation for our country forward in the next 3 years of his administration as they possibly can. And the filibuster is one means to doing that. I think the president has been very
Complete paralysis. That's where we're at right now. Planes falling from the sky, people freaking out about SNAP benefits, and then we have this pilot stunning passengers. I have no idea what's going on. Listen to this.
So we're number 3 in our line. We're number 3 in our line. But there's 4 lines. And the controller's not, he's not really willing to tell anybody what their sequence is. So I don't have anything to tell you. I have no idea how long it's going to take to get off the ground. But again, we're number 3 in our line, so hopefully we're getting close.
I would never get in a plane right now if you paid me. Okay? The press secretary laying it out. The impacts of Democrats' disastrous government shutdown on air travel. A friend of mine in D.C. recently told me, he's like, you know what, Gary, you're smart for not coming out to D.C. right now. He had a friend who sat on the tarmac for 4 hours. 4 hours. Listen to this from the press secretary today.
We are now on day 35 of the Democrat government shutdown. The Democrats' obstructionism will break the record for the longest government shutdown in American history tonight. The Democrats are intentionally hurting American families, workers, and businesses with this shutdown to fight for free health care for illegal aliens and to appease their radical left-wing base. And it's a total disgrace. This past weekend, Americans traveling to weddings, funerals, vacations, and meetings faced significant flight disruptions at airports across the country because of staffing shortages. On Sunday alone, more than 5,000 flights traveling to and from U.S. airports were delayed. Since the Democrat shutdown began, 4 times as many staffing shortages have been reported at air traffic control facilities compared to last year. TSA checkpoint wait times ballooned past 3 hours at Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport, with some passengers enduring up to 5 hours in line. At nearby William P. Hobby Airport in Texas, security wait times are routinely exceeding 1 hour. More than 13,000 air traffic controllers are continuing to work without pay. Because of the Democrats, these men and women who keep our airspace safe and moving will miss a second paycheck in a row this Friday if Democrats refuse to open the government. Let me be clear to our incredible air traffic controllers across the country. President Trump and Republicans want you to get your paychecks. They want you to be paid. Please call on your Democrat senators and tell them to side with President Trump and Republicans to vote to reopen the government. Our nation's 4 largest airlines, United, Delta, American, and Southwest, have now all endorsed the Republican, nonpartisan, clean funding bill to end the government shutdown. Major unions, collectively representing tens of thousands of pilots, have also joined the airlines in calling on Democrats to pass the clean, nonpartisan CR. The travel industry is also imploring Democrats to end the shutdown and reopen the government. Nearly 500 companies and groups in the travel business, including casinos, hotels, and convention bureaus, signed a public letter warning that America's travel economy has already lost $4 billion due to this Democrat shutdown, and they have called for the Republican CR to be passed, saying Americans expect and deserve a fully functioning federal government during the peak holiday travel season. Never before have we seen private industry and union leadership so unified on the same issue, rallying behind Republicans in such a vocal way. The Democrats have completely lost the plot. They are endangering the safety, prosperity, and livelihoods of millions of Americans. It's well past time Democrats do what they did 13 times under Joe Biden and pass the clean funding bill extension. All we need are 5 Democrat senators to put country over party and vote to end this reckless shutdown. We are now
I still can't believe that there's not 5 Democrats who are willing to cross the aisle to get this thing resolved. Mark Wayne Mullen, 9 hours ago, Senate Democrats blocked the 14th vote to end the Schumer shutdown. Final vote, 54 to 44. It takes 60 votes to pass a funding bill unless there's a change to the filibuster. And there it is. Voting no. Oh, and looks like David Hogg decided to show up on CNN today. I'll get to that in a second, but here's the warning that was just issued. Major warning, U.S. airspace operations may be suspended if the federal government shutdown continues.
The entire reason the government is not open right now is because Democrats refuse to be complicit in having millions of Americans, including 100,000 in Kentucky, your home state, if I'm remembering correctly, Scott, that rely on ACA, that would see their premiums rise several
which you can deal with separately. It doesn't have to be, those two things do not go together.
But the way that they're doing this right now, they're combining both.
Voting to support the budget still doesn't, if you keeping it closed doesn't fix the ACA. The ACA needs to be reformed. Healthcare needs to be reformed. This is a way bigger question.
You guys failed at that last time. The whole thing was repeal and replace. You had a trifecta. You tried this. You failed.
That's not true. They're still in the concept of a plan stage.
No, in terms of
they've been in the concept stage since 2000.
But David, you would admit that the ACA was a Democrat legislation, yes? And you would admit that the subsidies that we're talking about now were passed by Democrats, yes? And you would admit that the sunset provision in the subsidies, which comes up at the end of the year, was in place because of Democrats, yes? Now you want to make it a Republican problem. These are not the same issues. You could open the government today, and then you could negotiate with with Republicans about ACA. And by the way, my suspicion is, and you know this, there are probably, and I know there are some House Republicans that would love to negotiate on it, but under duress, under a hostage-taking situation, connecting disconnected issues, and now you're throwing SNAP onto it. You're throwing all the federal workers who aren't being paid onto it, all because of this fight that you wandered into because of your wing of the Democratic Party. You all led to this SNAP crisis. You all led to this crisis of the government being closed, and you don't know how to get out of it.
The entire reason the government is not open.
Oh, he got smoked. He got smoked. Let's see. I wanted to find, let's see. Here we have, here's Fetterman going nuclear. Travelers at the Newark airport on the impacts of the government shutdown.
For these guys, just the delays, to be in the airport for 10 hours, just waiting. I feel sorry for these guys. Congress shouldn't get paid. That's who shouldn't be paid.
These two sisters, one from Colorado, the other from Vermont, meeting up at Newark International Airport Monday for a long-planned trip to Belgium. Consider not traveling because of what's happening?
Yes, but this is my sister. Hello. And we live far away from each other, and we had planned this for a while, and I want to see my sister. Just the delays, to be in the airport.
Delay after delay. Here it is. Secretary Duffy.
Second paycheck. The controllers got 90% of one payment, 80 to 90% of one payment. They missed the second paycheck. On Thursday, they get an email pay stub that'll show what their next payment is going to be. So this Thursday, they'll get an email that shows that their pay stub is a big fat zero. Many of the controllers said, a lot of us can navigate missing one paycheck. Not everybody, but a lot of us can. None of us can manage missing 2 paychecks. So if you bring us to a week from today, Democrats, you will see mass chaos, you will see mass flight delays, you'll see mass cancellations, and you may see us close certain parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it because we don't have the air traffic controllers. The controllers got 9.
Closing the airspace. That's what's happening right now. Here is Speaker Johnson 10 hours ago about circumventing Chuck Schumer.
And evidence speaks for itself. So we're going above the heads of the so-called leadership, and we are appealing to the consciences of a handful of people in the Senate who want to do the right thing and just stop the pain for the American people. And we pray that today is that day. Maybe tying for the longest shutdown in history is something that they can claim as some sort of success. But it's sickening. It's sickening to see a political game being played. We're not playing a game here. We never were. Back on September 19th, to remind you all again, we passed a clean, nonpartisan CR. It's 24 pages in length, had not a single Republican priority on it. Why? Because we did it in good faith, because we didn't want this eventuality to occur. We knew it would be too painful for the people, and that's why we've always done the right thing, as everyone has said over and over. Now they won't, and we all know why. Yes, sir.
And that bill failed again in the Senate. Here is Senator Fetterman, the lone voice of reason in the Democrat Party.
Well, why won't Schumer do it? I mean, you voted to open the government.
Well, I mean, I really kind of led the charge back in March about keeping our government open. And I thought I might be the only Democrat. And there was enough people back in March. And I said, I'm going to be right there in September when this comes back. And if I'm the only Democrat, I'll still be there because it's wrong to shut our government down.
Does Schumer hate you for this?
No, of course he doesn't. He doesn't hate me. We might disagree with it right now. And where I'm here tonight to have a conversation because I'm going to have a conversation with the other side. And that's where I'm at. And I'm going to show up and talk to anyone that invites me to be here because we really need each other. And I want to have, and one other thing I refuse to do as a Democrat, I'm not going to call you a fascist or a Nazi. I'm not going to compare anyone to Hitler or anything. That's wrong. And if you resort to that thing, you've lost the plot. It's like, because if you call him a fascist, then you have to think, well, maybe the people that vote for him, and I know people that love for him, is a fascist. That's just not true. And I know people that voted for the other side, and they're not trying to destroy our Constitution.
Well,
Wow, Fetterman, man, for the win. Secretary LCD.
That we have, the future of the American economy is on my shoulders, on this administration's shoulders, and the Democrats have stopped all the momentum that we have put in the last 9 months. Registered apprenticeships, the future workforce. Not only are we hurting the current
So this is Lori Chavez de Remer, the labor secretary.
Workforce, it's the future workforce. We are trying to educate our young people. We're trying to register 1 million active apprentices across this country. We had almost 250,000 registered, and now that has come to a screeching halt. We're trying to educate our young Americans on AI. Pilot approaches for workforce challenges in AI, the uncertainty. American workers deserve to know that they are going to have a job in this country, and the Democrats have chosen to play those political games. But many of our efforts have been stopped. 13 times they had an opportunity to say yes, just like I did, just like my colleagues have done. Enough is enough. President Trump has done his job. Not only has he leveled the playing field with tariffs, not only has he welcomed great trade agreements, he has worked most recently with South Korea and Japan to bring hundreds of millions of dollars back to this country for the shipbuilding trades. I have been working around the clock to make sure that we can protect our national security for this country, and now that has also come to a stop. We are hurting.
Shipbuilding coming to a stop. John Kennedy says this is an ego-driven shutdown. Senator Schumer's poll numbers led to this goat rodeo more than any policy did.
The negotiation. This is an ego-driven shutdown. It's politics. Here's what happened. The country was rocking along, minding its own business. Our budget ran out at midnight. We knew it was going to run out. So we've been talking to the Democrats about just extending the negotiations for a new budget for 6 or 7 weeks. No strings attached. Just let's keep talking, but keep the government open. And the Democrats stepped up and said, we will vote no. We're going to shut her all down unless you give us $1.5 trillion. And we're going to tell you how to spend it. Well, I mean, our heads snapped back, and I thought, my mama did not raise a fool, and if she did, it was one of my 3 brothers, and I'm not voting for this. And every Republican said, are you kidding me? So that's why we're in a shutdown. It's really about, but it's not about the money. It's also about politics, which I'll be glad to go into if you want.
Apart from the shutdown, what else is irredeemably stupid in Washington?
Well, common sense is illegal. And the problem you've got, and I'll tie it again to the shutdown. This shutdown will not end until 60 U.S. senators take their egos out back and shoot them. Right. Because this is all ego-driven. For example, it's not all his fault, but he deserves a lot of the blame. Senator Schumer is worried about his personal politics in New York.
With AOC nipping at his heels.
I mean, his numbers, his poll numbers for his reelection are on a journey to the center of the earth. The loon wing or the progressive wing or the socialist wing, whatever you want to call it, of the Democratic Party is mad at him. They don't love him. Chuck wants them to love him. They'll never love him. And
no one's ever going to love him. Here's President Trump's post on Truth Social 10 hours ago. SNAP benefits, which increased by billions and billions of dollars manyfold during crooked Joe Biden's disastrous term in office due to the fact they were haphazardly handed to anyone for the asking, as opposed to just those in need, which is the purpose of SNAP, will be given only when radical left Democrats open up government, which they can easily do, and not before. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So this is only getting worse by the day. And can you believe this now? We're already seeing a bomb threat, too. A bomb threat at a plane at Reagan International Airport. All flights halted. So you got bomb threats at airports, TSA guys walking off the job, UPS planes falling from the sky. Still don't know what caused it. Some are saying mechanical. But could it be related to the shutdown? Just a few hours after the press secretary says the planes are going to fall from the sky, that's what Democrats want. If you got value from this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. So here's what this means for you and your family. Democrats have weaponized the entire federal government against the American people. They're literally starving families on food stamps, threatening air travel safety, planes stuck on tarmacs, UPS planes crashing, and they're destroying federal workers' lives, all to prevent Trump from fulfilling his mandate. This is not politics anymore. It's economic terrorism. They couldn't beat him at the ballot box, so now they're trying to make the country ungovernable. The question every American needs to ask tonight is simple. Should Democrats face criminal charges for deliberately harming millions of citizens through the shutdown? Yes or no? Let's have a conversation in the comments, because at some point using human suffering as a political weapon crosses the line from opposition into sedition. And folks, we've crossed that line 36 days ago. If you want to support our work here, check out our merch shop. Linked in the description. Real patriots wear their values with pride. Okay. This earpiece keeps wanting to do its own thing, and it's getting rather annoying. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay. All right, where are we here? Time before 20 drop. Stella Artois dropping $10. Love the intro music, Gary. Ruby Hoove gifting a membership to JR and then dropping $2 as well. Thank you so much. So we are now at $56.99. We're almost at our goal tonight. How about that? As soon as we're about to go live, plane crashes. TSA agents. It's crazy, man. We're going to get into our next topic here. Topic 2, the deep state treason. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Where do we begin? Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's see here. We've got Mike Davis. We've got... Wow. This is wild. Where do we even begin? Okay. I think we're going to start with... I like Bill O'Reilly. Always liked that guy. All right. The Arctic frost saga continues, and tonight we have new developments that will rock Washington to its core. What started as rumors about a CIA protection operation for Hillary Clinton has exploded into the biggest intelligence scandal of our lifetime. New whistleblowers are coming forward with documentation, recordings, and evidence that proves this goes all the way to the top. James Comey's name keeps surfacing in these leaked documents, and word is he's assembling a legal team that costs more than most Americans make in a decade. The deep state's crown jewel operation is crumbling, and now they're panicking. What you're about to learn changes everything. And just as the deep state's secrets are finally being exposed, it's time to expose the truth about aging. In a recent clinical trial, women who took collagen peptides daily saw dramatic improvements. Wrinkles reduced by 25%, skin elasticity up 9%, hydration boosted 29%. While Washington insiders try to cover their tracks, you can uncover younger-looking skin with BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen. It's not some government cover-up. It's real science, real results. 5 types of premium collagen work together to reduce fine lines and restore that youthful glow. Unlike the lies coming out of D.C., this actually delivers on its promises. And for a limited time, get 51% off at healthwithgary.com. While they're scrambling to hide the truth, you can reveal your best skin. That's healthwithgary.com. So we've got a lot breaking in the Arctic frost category. Kash Patel dropping a bombshell, revealing the Mar-a-Lago raid was politically motivated. Of course, we know that. Bill O'Reilly talking about Adam Schiff getting ready to feel President Trump's revenge. John Solomon talking about bombshell evidence brought against Comey. Superseding indictments. House Judiciary GOP launching a probe into AT&T Verizon responses and Jack Smith's partisan investigation. Articles of impeachment against Judge James Boasberg for rubber stamping partisan surveillance. I mean, folks, here, Attorney General Pam Bondi. During the Arctic frost investigation, we found the special counsel seized President Trump's government-issued phone. This means the Biden administration turned over President Trump's phone to special counsel, an unprecedented action. She continues that, in addition, special counsel subpoenaed all of President Trump's personal phone records. She writes, "We can never again allow this kind of government weaponization in America. I submitted these new documents to our partners on Capitol Hill. I commend our team at the FBI for working diligently to expose this." This is the document. The word Comey crossed out is Mitch. Mitch is code name for Stephen Halper. Stephen Halper was Brennan's CIA operative who worked for the FBI as confidential human source in Crossfire Hurricane, also worked with British intel and for Hillary Clinton. Halper is the architect of the Hillary plan to tie Trump to Russian intelligence, distract from her email scandal that was costing her the election. Halper, in coordination with Steele, who knew through the former head of British intelligence, Richard Dearlove, lied about Carter Page to get surveillance on Trump's campaign. Halper lied about General Flynn having an affair with me, and that I'm a Russian spy to start FBI investigation of General Flynn. Svetlana LaCava, posting this 24 hours ago. Here is, you can see it right there, Mitch crossed out. Mitch is code name for Stephen Halper. Let's see what, with respect to Comey, let's see what John Solomon's talking about here.
People were in the skip. Comey, will this potentially be evidence that is brought in the grand conspiracy impaneled
great question.
grand jury in Florida?
Yeah. So it could be, all right, particularly if they can prove that people were in the skiff trying to get rid of evidence before Kash Patel and Donald Trump took over. That could become a superseding indictment. Hey, did Comey talk to people who then did that? How did? Why was Comey's handwritten notes there and not given to the Senate or the House years ago? So there are additional things in this discovery that raise questions about whether Comey obstructed. So you could see a superseding indictment. Now, the revelation that he had these handwritten notes and seemed to know about it, I did some reporting last night. Lindsay Halligan tried to get that as a third charge against Comey. She failed. The grand jury wouldn't indict on that. Now, maybe there's new evidence that they can go back and recharge that. But they tried to bring that in as the third sort of count in this indictment. They did not succeed. But that doesn't mean fresh evidence and fresh testimony doesn't lead to that. And then keep in mind the reporting we did recently. We know that James Banker told the Postal Inspection Service that Comey authorized him to leak classified information, not about Hillary Clinton, not about Donald Trump, about another case, the Espionage Act on that, which that leak occurred late 2016, we believe. That's a 10-year statute, so that could be added later as well. So there are hints that Halligan and team and Kash Patel could bring additional charges based on the evidence we're now seeing.
Additional charges inbound. Kash Patel dropping a bombshell 24 hours ago.
The FBI team, you came in, you're there now, the leader. But have the old leaders who assigned this and directed this operation, have they been dismissed from the FBI?
Every single person that has been found to have weaponized or participated in that process has been removed from leadership positions. And if and when we find any others that are involved in this, as you know, this is a 37,000 person agency, we are going to take swift action just like we have. And just look at the record of the people that have been dismissed for their actions and what they're saying when they get out there about how they personally opined about the weaponization of this place, just like one of Peter Strzok's friends did recently this past week.
Right.
That's how we know we're finding the right folks. Right. And we're going to keep doing it. It's not done yet, but we're going to stay on it.
All right. I get it. Thank you for that answer. I mean, you're going as far as you can go. Another question. Why was Mar-a-Lago invaded? What were they looking for? This is speculation. No one knows to this day. I mean, it happened several years ago. We'll probably be talking about this for years ahead. The subject of Russiagate came up at the Alaska meeting of the two leaders, Russia and the United States, Putin and Trump. What were they doing there, Cash? Does anybody have any idea? Why was the FBI? What was the FBI looking for?
Creating a crime where one did not exist. The answer has been definitive. There was no crime. There was no predicate to go and invade Donald Trump's home. We have answered that definitively. Now, you know me, working backwards from that point, we are going to hold people accountable who weaponize that system of justice for the following reason. We, the FBI, must restore accountability and credibility to the American public so we can arrest more top 10 predators, so we can go after more terrorists, so we can find the other people involved in Abbey-Gate. These are the cases that matter to the FBI, and the distractions, to put it mildly, from the prior leadership regime are what thwarted the American public's belief and credibility in the FBI. And so when they do raids like Mar-a-Lago, now the American public knows it was made up. It was completely false. It was completely unconstitutional pursuant to our judicial courts. And we are working into those matters to say, why did you do it? We know there was no reason. Now it's time for accountability, and that's who we're talking to. And by the way, Larry, I'd like to announce on your show, if you got nothing to hide and you were DOJ and FBI before, you're welcome to come talk to the FBI at any time. And if you don't want to come talk to us, we're going to come find you, and we're going to put you in an investigative position and posture that will make you feel very uncomfortable, kind of like you did when you weaponized the government. The only difference is we're going to be doing it on a factual, legal, and constitutional basis to do so.
Yeah, baby. Let her rip. Adam Schiff about to feel President Trump's revenge. Bill O'Reilly.
But Donald Trump has a big, beautiful feud with his pal Adam Schiff, the senator from California. Schiff hates Trump and vice versa. Okay, a lot of bad blood there. It's kind of like Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr. Remember that? So apparently, Schiff has said that his primary residence is in Maryland. But it can't be. By law, it has to be in California. So the president went on social media and said this quote: "I've always suspected Shifty Adam Schiff was a scam artist. Now I learned that Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division has concluded that Adam Schiff is engaged in the same pattern of possible mortgage fraud. Adam Schiff said that his primary residence was in Maryland to get a cheaper mortgage and rip off America when he must live in California because he was a congressman from California. I always knew Schiff was a crook," unquote. So Schiff was a congressman and then ran for Senate. Now he's got that seat. Now Schiff says, quote, "This is Donald Trump's latest attempt at political retaliation against his perceived enemies." Okay. Again, Schiff did it. There's no doubt he did it. But is anything going to happen? So New York Attorney General Letitia James did the same thing. Claimed a residence in the Commonwealth of Virginia as her primary living place. It's not. She's in New York. She's the New York Attorney General. So this has been referred to the Justice Department to investigate. Do you think anything's going to happen here to James or Schiff? It's not so much corruption, but it's like we don't want to be embarrassed if we bring the case and we lose. That's what it is. And these cases, with a jury, they're not slam dunks. If I had a bet, they're not going to be brought into court, James or Schiff. But I absolutely could be wrong. But
of course, Schiff has not yet. He still has the pardon, which is being questioned right now because of the auto pen scandal. Letitia James already having to plead not guilty, being indicted. Jack Smith, on the Jack Smith side, Mike Davis had this to say with Steve Bannon.
As good marks, I would say to Jack Smith, you were the Democrats' useful idiot, and you're no longer useful. You failed to deliver, and as good Marxists do, you are. They're going to take out the knife for you, brother. You're toast. You didn't deliver.
No. This is no. You're 100% correct. This is exactly what the Bolsheviks do. The Bolsheviks and Stalin and these guys. Hey, if you bring the scalps, as long as you're bringing them, you're good. The moment you don't bring them, it's a show trial. They're cutting. I mean, Merrick Garland gets ripped on in this book, and Jack Smith gets ripped on as not doing enough, not breaking enough laws, not because it's all about getting Trump to prison and to make sure he can't return.
I would say to.
Here is another Jack Smith cover-up. Judicial Watch reporting this 12 hours ago.
If you were relying on the left-wing media, you wouldn't know about the revelations because of disclosures by the FBI to Congress and leaks by whistleblowers to the Senate about the wild abuses of power by the Biden gang at the Justice Department and FBI and the special counsel appointed by the Biden gang, Jack Smith, in targeting President Trump and literally hundreds of American citizens and groups, including United States senators. The big news headlines have been that Jack Smith sought and spied on the phone records of 20% of the U.S. Senate, 8 or 9 senators, They secretly got their list of people who they were calling and receiving calls from, secretly, and didn't tell anyone about it until just recently. And on top of that, there have been subpoena records showing that they were targeting not only Trump, but all sorts of groups like the Tea Party, like our friend Cleta Mitchell, Ed Corrigan of the Conservative Partnership Institute, with abusive subpoenas seeking credit records, seeking all sorts of communications with members of Congress, all sorts of First Amendment protected communications, all based on the fraudulent notion that it was illegal to dispute Biden's election. So the very pretext or predicate, as the FBI and the DOJ likes to say, for initiating this scam investigation to jail Trump, target the Republican Party generally, citizen activists at the state level involved in election disputes, groups who were just talking and exercising their First Amendment rights. They just went on a rampage of subpoenas and such, targeting them. And all of this has not been, by the way, disclosed by the Justice Department and FBI. Much of it was disclosed by a whistleblower or whistleblowers.
Whistleblowers coming forward, revealing what really happened. MAGA cult slayer posting this. Jack Smith on the offensive? Hook up the IV.
The offensive. We have some pretty big news right now. Jack Smith, the prosecutor who went after Donald Trump, he's ready to prosecute Trump publicly. He wants to testify in front of Congress. He wants to make the case against Donald Trump, present the evidence that he would have presented in a court of law, this time to the American public and to the House of Representatives and to the Senate. According to the New York Times, Jack Smith is getting ready to go on the offensive against Donald Trump to essentially prosecute the president of the United States for the crimes that he was never able to be prosecuted for because he won the election. And while this could shape major public narrative, especially as we head into the midterm elections, and can completely undercut Donald Trump's presidency, because Donald Trump will essentially be prosecuted in front of the American public, whether in Congress or just generally. And while he may never serve any prison time, he may never be convicted in a court of law for these crimes, the evidence will be presented in the court of public opinion by Jack Smith. At least that's what the Times is reporting. So we'll see what happens next. Spread the word. Follow along for more.
Wow. Jack Smith going on the offensive. Brandon Gill filing articles of impeachment against Judge James Boasberg for rubber stamping partisan surveillance as part of Jack Smith's Arctic Frost operation. Chief Judge Boasberg has compromised the impartiality of the judiciary and created a constitutional crisis. He's shamelessly weaponizing his power against his political opponents, including Republican members of Congress. Jim Jordan launching the probe into AT&T and Verizon responses to Jack Smith's partisan investigation. Comey going down in flames. Jack Smith is about to open a can of whoop ass on Orange Daddy thanks to Jim Jordan, says the big red lie. And of course, they want to post all the headlines. Trump guilty, Trump guilty, Trump guilty. Well, we'll have to wait and see how this works. Ivan Ranklin writes, why did Jack Smith, Maria Vento, Angela Caesar, Jeremy Dissor, Walter Giardina violate my Fourth Amendment? Can we at least suspend Jeremy until we get put together a deprivation of rights under the color of law case against him? Could use de-weaponization assist from Ed Martin.
America, looky what we have here. 4 subpoenas by Jack Smith against Save America Joint Fundraising Committee, looking at any communications with the following individuals and organizations, specifically Ivan Raiklin. Also Save America, if they communicated with Ivan Raiklin. Also Make America Great Again PAC, if they communicated with Ivan Raiklin. And Trump Make America Great Again Committee, if they communicated with Ivan Raiklin. Additionally, what do you think about this? These are the actual subpoenas of people that violated my Fourth Amendment. Jack Smith being one of them. Maria K. Vento, being another person that violated my Fourth Amendment as the Assistant Special Counsel. And then lastly, we have Special Agent Jeremy Desor, which apparently is still working at the FBI's Washington field office, according to a post by Brandon Straka. As late as June, Walter Giardina has already been relieved. We're also going to be looking into the clerk of court on whether or not she violated my Fourth Amendment, Angela Caesar. Stay tuned.
Ivan Ranklin on the list, right alongside all those senators, too. We have this. Byron Donald says Judge Boasberg must be impeached.
Un-American to investigate their political rivals. It is un-American. And specifically to Judge Boasberg. Judge Boasberg, who was entrusted to sit on the bench, to be impartial, and to be non-political, and to basically review cases in front of him and determine the constitutionality and the legality of the claims in front of him, he has taken it on his own to be a hyper-partisan judge going after Republicans, signing off on subpoenas that are unlawful, and he signed off on them just to get his political rivals. This is why he needs to be impeached. I commend Congressman Brandon Gill of Texas for leading this effort in the House to call for articles of impeachment of Judge Boasberg. And it'd be interesting to see what Minority Leader Schumer has to say about all this. Because if it's okay for a federal judge to sign off on subpoenas and warrants against Republicans in the United States Senate simply because they're going through not just fishing, like Senator Johnson said, this is not a fishing expedition. This was entrapment. This was trying to bury and to suppress your political rivals, all to maintain power in Washington, D.C. And I'll stress again, our Democratic colleagues, they want to talk about healthcare costs. Well, here are the facts. Their healthcare policy has led to premiums skyrocketing through the United States, deductibles skyrocketing through the.
Wow. Sunday morning, futures, congressional Republicans have no idea what lawfare was and who was behind it. They never mentioned Norm Ellison. What is this?
Now that the name Arctic Frost, it's not every day you hear a lawmaker call something 100 times worse than Watergate, but that's where we are at with Arctic Frost. Missouri Senator and Senate Armed Services Committee member Eric Schmitt joins us now. Senator, thank you for being here.
Great to be with you.
So we're hearing now that the name Arctic Frost was not randomly generated like FBI case names are supposed to be. Arctic Frost is the name of a specific Florida orange, and the thought is that the only person indicted was the quote-unquote orange man. What does that tell you?
Wow.
This is another symptom of Trump derangement syndrome, but I think that for the viewers at home to really understand the scope of this, it really is breathtaking. And I mentioned 100 times worse than Watergate. That may be an understatement. What happened was 3 days after President Trump announced he was running for president, the entirety of government and the Justice Department was weaponized against him to bankrupt him and his family and put him in jail for the rest of his life. So what happened? In Atlanta, a state case was, created to go after President Trump. The number 2 person in that case met with the White House. Alvin Bragg in New York began his criminal trial against President Trump, and the number 3 person left DOJ to go join Alvin Bragg's office. Then, of course, you have Jack Smith, who's notorious in prosecutor circles as the henchman you assigned to go get your person, the show me the man, I'll show you the crime kind of prosecutor. He's a total dirtbag. Brings this case against President Trump. But it wasn't just a war against a man, Peter. This was against a movement. So Arctic Frost was going after not just President Trump, but sitting United States senators with subpoenas. The Republican Attorneys General Association, I happen to be the chairman of that organization at the time, Charlie Kirk's organization, this massive dragnet to sweep up people because they were Republicans. That was their crime. So this is sweeping. It's huge in scope. We're just getting this information right now because of whistleblowers. If President Trump wouldn't have won, all this stuff would be buried. But whistleblowers have come forward. We need Watergate-style hearings for months on this to continue that investigation. There ought to be probably charges brought, eventually resignations. And one final point, Judge Boasberg, who's become notorious from the FISA courts, also making a speech trying to thwart President Trump's agenda before President Trump got in. And then, of course, somehow ending up with all these cases in the D.C. area, even though he wasn't the assignment judge, actually wrote in an attachment to these subpoenas to the telecommunications companies that you can't tell Senator Cruz, you can't tell these other senators that the subpoena was out there because they would destroy evidence. That's just beyond.
Yeah, that's where we're at, folks. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Yes, this is bigger than Watergate, bigger than Iran-Contra, bigger than anything that we've ever seen. Arctic frost proves what we have suspected all along. There's a permanent bureaucracy in Washington that operates above the law, protecting its chosen politicians while destroying outsiders. They use CIA resources, your tax dollars, to shield Hillary Clinton from justice. They turned America's intelligence apparatus into a private security firm for the Democrat Party. And James Comey, he wasn't just complicit, he was the architect. Now, the whole thing is crumbling because real patriots inside these agencies have had enough. So here's my question for the comments. When Arctic frost is fully exposed, should everyone involved face treason charges? Yes or no? Because using the CIA against American citizens isn't just corruption, it's an act of war against the Republic. Support our work. Hit up our merch shop and show them we're not backing down. Good Lord. Flying Eagle dropping $10. Thank you. Why not? Good news is deserving. Appreciate you, Flying Eagle. And Keel for Real dropping $10. Also, treat your neighbors good. Thank you for treating us good, sir. And we are currently at $81.99. My earpiece is holding up. But somebody who's not holding up is in our next topic. Yeah, wait till you see this. This guy just got busted. Oh, yeah. Where is he? Trent Schneider. Arrested in a SWAT raid. Oh, and we've got the video, too. We have the video of Trent Schneider. Where do we begin here? I guess we could start with the local news. I'll bring it into the actual video. I'm going to warn you guys now, the video that I'm going to play is Schneider's original post that was made on Instagram that he was arrested for. Stella dropping $19.99. We're now over our goal. Thank you, Stella. Beautiful. $101.98. Maybe we'll hit $150 tonight. That would be beautiful. Okay, let's get into it. Federal agents just kicked down a door in Illinois, and what they found should terrify every American. Trent Schneider, 57 years old, thought he could threaten the president of the United States on social media and get away with it. Well, he was wrong, dead wrong. This isn't just about a deranged individual. It's about a pattern of escalating violence from the radical left. Trump officials now living in military housing. Their families need armed protection. Death threats have become daily occurrences in the mainstream media. They're practically encouraging it. What you're about to see is the video evidence that got Schneider arrested. So keep watching. As we wrap up 2025, it is time to reflect. Uncertainty isn't temporary anymore. It's our new reality. Waiting for normal isn't a plan. It is a gamble. And for over a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped Americans protect their families by diversifying with gold and silver. You know, real wealth isn't digital. It's physical. It's lasting, and it's yours. Nobody knows what 2026 will bring. But in uncertain times, precious metals do provide stability. This holiday season, surrounded by family, remember, the best gift isn't under the tree, it is peace of mind. Noble Gold delivers that peace, 1 ounce at a time. So before year's end, take a smart step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Now, this is TDS gone wild. 57-year-old man, Trent Schneider, arrested after making threats on social media about assassinating President Trump. He said in an Instagram video, "I'm going to get some guns to take care of business myself." That's what he said. And I'm going to show you the video. We found it, tracked it down. Here is a local report on this.
Schneider into tonight at Winthrop Harbor.
This is CBS News Chicago.
Tonight, a Winthrop Harbor man is in federal custody for making a threat to kill President Trump.
Prosecutors say he posted a video on social media threatening to shoot the president and others. Our Sabrina Franza is in Winthrop Harbor.
57-year-old Trent Schneider was arrested here and later charged with making a threat in interstate commerce to injure a person. That is a federal charge related to making threatening posts online. Now, prosecutors say Schneider posted a video on Instagram on October 16th saying in part, quote, "I'm going to get some guns to take care of business myself, especially you, Trump," he says. "You should be executed." His words. This is a still frame from that video. It matches the caption cited by the U.S. Attorney's Office stating Schneider mentions, quote, "losing everything," and says his house auction date is November 4th. The Lake County Sheriff's Office told us the Secret Service asked for a SWAT team to help bring Schneider into custody this morning. In court, Schneider's criminal history was described as lengthy. We've confirmed prior charges for threatening to fire a weapon at a cell phone store and for subsequently trying to flee police. Schneider at one point did name the president in court today. He asked if he could be put up in the, quote, "Trump motel," his words, with popcorn, he says, until his detention hearing. Now that detention hearing is scheduled for Thursday at 2 p.m. Schneider is being held until then. In Winthrop Harbor, Sabrina Franza, CBS News, Chicago.
Now, we do have the video. I'm going to show it to you. First, some additional context. This from One America News.
Authorities arrest a man in Illinois for allegedly making death threats to President Trump. On Monday, 57-year-old Trent Schneider was taken into custody for posting a video on Instagram showing him with multiple guns and saying President Trump must be executed. Schneider made his first court appearance on the same day, telling a judge that he has never been a threat to others and calling his charges fraudulent. Well, he's charged with making true threats to injure another person in interstate commerce, and he will have his detention hearing this Thursday. Authorities arrest him.
All right, you guys want to see the video? I'm going to warn you. I will warn you, there is some language here, and we are simply posting this for context. 57-year-old Illinois man Trent Schneider arrested after posting this Instagram video threatening to kill President Trump. This clip is released for investigative and historical reporting only. Viewer discretion is advised.
And he's got October 16th, 2025. What a fucking miserable fucking time to be alive. It is truly fucking miserable when you fucking trusted a fraud like Donald Trump. Donald Trump, number one, there's several Donald Trumps, okay? He's an actor and he's got body doubles, okay? Most of what he does, they say you're watching a movie, but people like me have suffered real fucking crimes from fucking judges, doctors, lawyers, police. They all should be killed. All of them should be executed for what they've done. They need to be killed. They need to be executed, okay? They are frauds, okay? I think it's time. I've waited long enough. I'm going to get some guns. I know where I can get a lot of fucking guns, and I am going to take care of business myself. I'm tired of all you fucking frauds. People need to fucking die, and people are going to die. Fuck all of you, especially you, Trump. You should be executed.
Yeah. So, again, we're posting this for the context only. Now this man is in custody for that video. Instagram user Trent Schneider arrested in a SWAT raid for repeated threats to execute President Trump. That guy looks like he was crazy enough to do it. I'm glad. From what I understand, that post was flagged by somebody in Florida who saw it and then reported it to the FBI. The investigation started from that point. And we always talk about these mass shooting situations. There's always people posting online about what they intend to do. We always seem to find out after the fact. People go into the social media accounts of these shooters, and they find all this information. Well, this could have been one of those videos that we would have seen after the fact. And thank God this guy is in custody now. Multiple people in Trump's cabinet have now bounties on their heads, multiple death threats a day. They've attempted to assassinate Trump multiple times. They assassinated Charlie Kirk. This is a matter of national security. Leftist rioters have forced Stephen Miller and other Trump officials to move into military housing for their family's safety after threats, protests, and assassination attempts. The left's hatred has gone way too far. Here's a Fox News hit on that.
Yeah, the Paul increasingly are facing so many very serious and violent threats that they find that the only option they have is to actually move their families and themselves onto military bases. Here's the list of some of the notable acts of political motivated violence. Of course, you had June 2022, the plot that was thwarted against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. You had the Paul Pelosi was attacked in October of 2022. Obviously, you have the assassination attempts on President Trump, both of them. You have the arson at Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's home.
Yeah, and you have, of course, the Charlie Kirk assassination. And I think the Charlie Kirk assassination was such a shock to, especially to anybody who is in public life, that you could go with security to a university and simply have open debate, and you get shot in such a horrific way in front of college students. I'm still not over it. I'm just surprised how in the liberal media it's just kind of just gone away. Here, a lot of conservatives and, of course, at Fox News, we have not forgotten. We will not forget. But it has just gone off the pages like, oh, just another day. But the people who are not forgetting, especially, are those in the public eye. And so one of them is Stephen Miller. This is The Atlantic saying Stephen Miller joined a growing list of senior Trump administration and political appointees, at least 6 by our count, living in Washington area military housing, where they are shielded not just from potential violence, but also from protests. It is an ominous marker of the nation's polarization, to which the Trump administration has itself contributed. I don't know where they got that from, that some of those top public servants have felt a need to separate themselves from the public. These civilian officials can now depend on the U.S. military to augment their personal security. But so many have made the move that they are now straining the availability of housing for the nation's top uniformed officers.
Increasing.
Stephen Miller recently was recounting what happened to his wife. That they were protesting outside his home, and somebody went up to the front door and got in his wife's face. Here, look at this. Back September 16th, liberal TikTok user calling for the assassination of Elon Musk, Donald Trump after Charlie Kirk, demonically laughing, saying not if this will happen, but when.
If you were gonna get the job done, there were 2 better candidates.
I have a feeling this video just put you on a few watch lists.
Furthermore, when that happens, and it will, it will, not only will we be insensitive, that'll be the least of your worries. going to be the biggest fucking celebration.
Here's the difference between me and you, all of us and all of you. We don't wish horrible things on people. We don't want that to happen to any of you or any of your leaders. But then you want to turn around and say we are the horrible people. And what did you mean?
Wow, the woman cackling like a witch. And of course, who could forget this? This was just a few days ago. Pam Bondi announcing the arrest of an individual who threatened to kill her entire family. Charged federally and faces prison.
Streets of our city. Good morning. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for being here. We've been living through a horrific cycle of political violence in this country. We've seen attacks against police officers, federal agents, including the deadly shooting in the ICE facility in Dallas. Night after night, Antifa wreaks havoc on our streets of our cities. In Minnesota, a gunman murdered a state lawmaker and her husband. It was horrific. An anti-Semitic lunatic tried to burn down Governor Shapiro's house while he was in it with his wife and young children. This week, authorities arrested a man outside a Catholic church in Washington, D.C., with hundreds of explosive devices. And on September 10th, our nation stopped in its tracks with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We miss him dearly. Unfortunately, I'm here today to talk about similar threats that were made against Benny Johnson and his wife, Kate. Benny's a well-known media personality carrying a message very similar to...
So, I'm sorry, that was actually a press conference that Pam Bondi was referring to the threats against Benny Johnson. But then there was this. This was a couple days ago. That's what I was referring to. Legislation, a Minnesota man arrested after allegedly offering $45,000 for the assassination of Attorney General Pam Bondi. The suspect faces federal charges and remains in custody pending the investigation. Now, from what I understand, that individual was released on bond. Oh, my goodness. Trump, Mike Engelman writing October 28th, Trump had held rallies for over a year, but Butler, Pennsylvania was the only Trump rally CNN covered. That question still remains unanswered. Why was that the only one CNN covered? There's so many unanswered questions about Butler. We may never actually get them. Why was that rooftop left open? I think the whole thing was orchestrated as the last ditch effort by the deep state to finally end Donald Trump's campaign and his life so that the deep state can continue to thrive. Well, God had other plans that day. But just another example of the outrageous behavior and language coming out of the left. New York Post just posted this 9 hours ago about the deranged Instagram user Trent Schneider, arrested in a SWAT raid for repeated threats to execute President Trump. Trent Schneider, Winthrop Harbor, posting threats towards Trump, leading to federal charges. The photo on the left is an exhibit. Look what he posted that. He literally posted that. This is not a threat. After losing everything in my house auction date, Donald Trump should be executed. Wow. That's what he posted. He posted that image, and then he posted that video. This is where we're at right now, folks. But thankfully, these people are getting arrested. They're getting charged. Let's just hope that other people are listening, like this lunatic here. If you have value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is where we are, America. The left has normalized violence against conservatives to the point where people feel comfortable posting assassination threats with their real names attached. Schneider displayed firearms, said Trump should be executed. and he thought that was acceptable political discourse. Stephen Miller's family's in hiding. Pam Bondi had a $45,000 bounty on her head. Conservative speakers can't appear in public without security details. This is not free speech. It's called domestic terrorism. And every media outlet that called Trump a threat to democracy has blood on their hands when these lunatics act out. So here's my question. Should social media companies face criminal liability when they allow death threats to spread on their platforms? Because they banned Trump for far less than what they're allowing against him now. If you want to support our work, check out our merch shop. Real Americans stand with law and order. Wow. Trent Schneider. Thursday is when he is going to be arraigned, I guess. Is that the term? Oh, and now we have some interesting news. Interesting news. Okay, this is on Nancy Pelosi. Okay, let's see. Where are we on this? Okay. After decades of insider trading, stock manipulation, and turning public service into personal profit, Nancy Pelosi finally calling it quits. At 85 years old, with $250 million in the bank, the Queen of Capitol Hill has decided she's extracted enough wealth from the American people. But here's what they're not telling you. This timing isn't coincidental. Jake Tapper's brutal questioning about her stock trades sent shockwaves through her camp. The walls are closing in on her financial empire, and she knows it. Is this retirement or is this the escape? What you're about to learn will make your blood boil, so don't go anywhere. And just like Pelosi's portfolio mysteriously grew over the decades, you can grow your collagen levels, but honestly, with actual science. In a clinical trial this year, women taking 2.5 grams of collagen daily saw wrinkles reduced by 25%, skin elasticity improved by 9%, hydration boosted by 29%. Unlike congressional stock tips, these results are transparent and available to everyone. Biotrust's Ageless Multi-Collagen delivers 5 premium types of collagen to help reduce fine lines and restore youthful skin, something Nancy Pelosi certainly needs. But there's no insider information needed, just real ingredients that work. While Pelosi cashes out her chips, you can invest in looking younger for a limited time. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com. That's a better return than any stock tip, guaranteed. Visit healthwithgary.com and support our show. This posted 24 hours ago. Nancy Pelosi reportedly will not be seeking re-election in 2026. Thank God. Overton points out, looking back at this July interview on CNN, appears to be one of the turning points in her career. Jake Tapper openly pressing Pelosi on the allegations of insider trading, and she lost it live on the air.
You have to read that.
Let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
Yeah, but I wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are, they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time. I'm not into it. My husband is, but it isn't anything to do with anything insider. But the president has his own exposure, so he's always projecting. He's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please.
Let me just read what he said. I'm sorry.
Nancy Pelosi knows that the walls are closing in. We've been documenting it here at the Next News Network for quite some time. Caroline Leavitt back in September exposing Pelosi for having $413 million net worth on a $174,000 a year salary in Congress. Last year, her portfolio grew 70%.
her portfolio to put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million. In 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year in 2024, and her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year, and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So I think the president stands with the American people on this. He doesn't want to see people like Nancy Pelosi enriching themselves off of public service and ripping off their constituents in the process.
Oh, yeah. Pelosi knows that she is cooked. Nancy Pelosi, what is this? Nancy Pelosi stock tracker. Another holy crap moment. Tom Ellsworth from the PBD podcast been testing the Pelosi tracker with casual $50,000. According to him, so far, so good. Wow.
Okay, autopilot. So you could go to autopilot and you could select the Nancy Pelosi portfolio and connect it. So I said, I'm going to do a test. So on July 1st, I took $50,000. I created a simple Robinhood account, basic. And then, Pat, I went to autopilot, filled out the credentials and said, okay, autopilot, you can trade the $50,000 in my Robinhood according to the Nancy Pelosi disclosures.
You did this.
I did this. And I am at this is just a little test. So it's just a small test in a real world environment. Right now it's up 18.8%. It's gained 9,500 since July 1st.
Stop it, Tom.
No, I'm not. Just this little 50,000. I did this to do a test because I was reading that in the first 90 days of autopilot being out there, some 40,000 accounts were created. And these were citizens out there, retail traders that were doing this. And by the way, there's also some very interesting things you can go find out.
Wow. You know, we've had Ross Givens here on a number of occasions who has supported this program and been able to detail and track Nancy Pelosi and teaches people how to do that. One person asking, raise your hand if you'd like to see Judge Jeanine indict Pelosi for insider trading before she retires from Congress. But over at Dime Store Obama, Hakeem Jeffries says Pelosi is an iconic, legendary, transformational figure.
Nancy Pelosi is an iconic, legendary, transformational figure who has done so many things over so many years to make life better for so many people. Ultimately, we'll wait on her to see what decision that she makes. And there's nothing really more to say beyond that. Well, Nancy Pelosi is an iconic, legendary...
Jeffrey is reacting to Pelosi's retirement. This was posted 48 hours ago. Listen to this evil demon. This evil demon, Nancy Pelosi, saying Democrats are hoping they can get gender-affirming care for our trans kids.
How is your office responding to the pauses in gender-affirming care here in California?
Well, that is something that I'm working for at the national level, and we have, are hoping that we can have gender-affirming care for our trans kids.
Yeah, no thanks. Oh, and here we have this 24 hours ago. Nancy Pelosi, Western Lensman writes, Nancy Pelosi, it's clear that Gavin Newsom has a vision for our country. Good God.
It's clear that this governor has a vision for our country. He has knowledge of our country and our state. The state of California, the fourth largest economy in the world. Gavin manages that with great dignity. He has
mismanages, you mean, I think was what you meant to say, Nancy. Here we have this 85-year-old Nancy Pelosi apparently going to retire after her current term is up. Aside from making a lot of money, here's a look back at what else Nancy Pelosi accomplished over the past decade.
I want to know what the Russians have on Donald Trump. I think we have to have that investigation by the FBI into his financial, personal, and political connections to Russia. What do the Russians have on Donald Trump? Politically, financially, and personally. What does Vladimir Putin have on President Trump? Personally, politically, financially, in any way. What does he have on Donald Trump? I think it's probably financial. I think it's probably financial. Either something financial he has on or something on the come. I want to know what the Russians...
Yeah, they got nothing. Nancy Pelosi on Trump, he's a vile creature.
It's the worst thing. He's just a vile creature. The worst thing on the face of the earth. But anyway.
You think he's the worst thing on the face of the earth?
I do, yeah. I do.
Why is that?
Because he's the President of the United States and he does not honor the Constitution of the United States. In fact, he's turned the Supreme Court into a rogue court. He's abolished the House of Representatives. What? He's chilled. He's just a vile creature. The worst thing.
Who will ever forget when Nancy Pelosi ripped up the State of the Union speech behind Donald Trump? That moment will go down in one of history's worst recorded moments of Nancy Pelosi. She wants to enjoy, Cat Turd writes. She wants to enjoy that $250 million she's made trading stocks. She's an expert, you know. Nancy Pelosi will not seek re-election in 2026. She's done at 85 years old. Not gone soon enough, in my opinion. But she got what she wanted out of America, didn't she? If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, let's be crystal clear about one thing. Nancy Pelosi didn't serve the American people for 40 years. She served herself. From a modest net worth to a $250 million fortune, all while drawing a government salary. Her stock trades beat Warren Buffett's returns. Her husband's trades perfectly timed with legislation that she controlled. And now, just when the heat turns up, just when real investigations loom, she's heading for the exits. Coincidence, please. This is a criminal fleeing the scene before the cops arrive. So here's my question. Should there be a special counsel appointed to investigate every single Pelosi stock trade before she retires? Yes or no? Because if we let her walk away with $250 million in suspicious gains, we're telling every corrupt politician that crime pays. Time is running out to demand justice. Grab your merch and show them that we won't forget. Pelosi. Please. Yes, she will say it was just a copy of the speech. Yeah, Alice Searcy. She belongs in jail like the rest of them. Yes, says John. Yes, says Lynn. Nancy Pelosi's family is organized crime. They ruined Baltimore and ran to California. She did a few two stock trades before bowing out and retiring. Man, she is walking away with huge cash. Bring on the tribunals. Millennium Man, LOL. She's so addicted by booze, she actually thinks we're stupid. Tombstone Nancy. She made $6.5 million a year selling out America. Oh yeah, United Spot's got some really funny parodies. Yes, they do. Okay, we're going to go and take a look at what happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene today. Everyone seems to be talking about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene appearing on The View, going in to the henhouse. Remember when Americans could disagree without destroying each other? When left and right could share a table, debate ideas, maybe even find common ground? Well, that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to resurrect today on The View. Yeah, The View. Not exactly neutral territory, but MTG didn't go there to fight. She went there to talk. And she actually called out both parties for abandoning workers. She spoke about women using powerful voices to stitch our flag back together. Laura Loomer, though, screaming betrayal. MAGA influencers are calling her a sellout. Maybe, just maybe, she's onto something. Is reaching across the divide strength or surrender? Well, you're about to find out. Now, as we wrap up 2025, it's time to reflect. Uncertainty isn't temporary anymore. It's our new reality. Waiting for normal isn't a plan. It's a gamble. And for over a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped Americans protect their families by diversifying with gold and silver. Real wealth, though, isn't digital. It's physical. It's lasting, and it's yours. No one knows what 2026 brings, but in uncertain times, precious metals do provide stability. This holiday season, surrounded by family, remember this. The best gift isn't under the tree. It's called peace of mind. Noble Gold delivers that peace, 1 ounce at a time. So before year's end, take one small step towards a safer future. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. You can also find out how to get the 10 1-ounce silver coins by calling that number on the screen. So 11 hours ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene arrived for her appearance on The View.
Marjorie!
How do you feel about President Trump endorsing Comey after all of this?
Can we get a photo too?
What do you say to voters? President Trump had a big, saying, "Hey guys, vote for Comey." What are your thoughts on that?
So much. Can we get a photo, please? Marjorie. MTG.
How are you?
And that's how it began. We'll take a look at some of the moments where she was on The View. Laura Loomer, not too pleased. She says, "I told you MTG was flirting with the idea of becoming a Democrat." The women on The View even planted the seed for her. They said, "Maybe you should become a Democrat, Marjorie." Laura Loomer says, "Never seen a more opportunistic woman before." Now, Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they've had some nasty spats online. Now, there is a community note that has been proposed for this. Laura Loomer is misleading, they say. MTG responds to Joy Behar, who said, "Maybe you should become a Democrat," saying, "No, not a Democrat." Then it clarifies further, saying, "I will say this, I think both parties have failed." So let's listen.
Wars and foreign. Well, I want to talk about MAGA voters who believed that the president made promises like lowering grocery prices on day one. Right now, grocery prices, inflation is up, soybean and cattle farmers are on the verge of bankruptcy. Millions have lost their food stamps and are about to lose their health care, while we're watching $40 billion to bail out Argentina. What is going on?
I don't know. I am so America first. I feel like I live it and breathe it. And that's my district, and that's what people want. They are so tired of their hard-earned tax dollars being sent overseas to foreign wars and foreign aid and foreign causes, while life in America just becomes more and more unaffordable. We want this money invested at home for our infrastructure, for programs, for our people, and most importantly, for my children's generation and their children and their children and generations to come. And I have to say, that's what I've campaigned on the entire time. Everybody's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene has changed. And I'm like, oh no, nothing has changed about me. I am staying absolutely 100% true to the people that voted for me and true to my district. And I am so angry when I drive around my district to all these beautiful little rural small towns. And there's manufacturing plants that are crumbling from decades of lost industry, small businesses that got shuttered during COVID lockdowns and COVID shutdowns. And you want to know something else, Whippy? So many veterans that went over and had to fight in some war that really had nothing to do with where they were from or their hometown, and their lives and families' lives have been so affected. So for me, I am unapologetically America first, and I'll do anything I can to work hard to save this country.
Maybe you should become a Democrat, Marjorie.
No, I'm not a Democrat. You want to know something? I'll say this. I think both parties have failed.
Well, I want to talk about...
Now, I don't know if that community note is warranted or not, but they definitely seeded that. Marjorie Taylor Greene, 4 hours ago, posting this after her appearance on The View. She said her frustration is not with President Trump, it's with Congress.
Frustrations are, I serve in Congress, and that's where my frustrations are. It's not at the president at all. My frustrations are in Congress because we're the legislative branch. We should be passing bills. We should be passing the agenda that the American people voted for, and we're not. We're literally shut down. I'm angry at the speaker. I think the House should be in session. We should be doing our job. And over in the Senate, Democrats can reopen the government, but Republicans can do it too. And I called for to end the filibuster and use the nuclear option a month ago. So, I serve in Congress.
Well, how can you, if the government's closed, then what happens? How can the Republicans do anything in Congress? It's all sitting on the Senate's desk. Anna Matson writes, Marjorie Taylor Greene went on The View, and Gretchen Whitmer went on Caleb Hammer, all within 24 hours. Are we learning how to talk to people on the other side of the aisle? She says this is a win for America.
That she did this. Marjorie Taylor Greene went on The View. I did not expect any Republican to go on The View, but especially not the most MAGA Republican you can find. You would think that there was screaming and fighting, but there wasn't. They actually just talked like human beings. And that's not all. Governor Gretchen Whitmer went on Caleb Hammer, who he says he is a centrist, but for a lot of people, they call him like a crazy far-right Republican. I'm one of the most critical people of Gretchen Whitmer, but I am so happy that she did this show. There were things that she just flat out lied about, but this is good for everyone that Republicans and Democrats and independents are talking to each other. The reason we see so much political violence is not because of guns. It's literally because people do not know how to talk to each other. As an independent, I talk to people I disagree with all the time. Even the most extreme people, I am still able to find common ground with. My hope for the future is that we do not let party labels blind us from seeing the good in people. But as always, let me know your thoughts about this. What do you...
I mean, I give her props for going into the hen house there. Takes a lot to go and confront those women. Vince Langman writing, oh, look, Marjorie Taylor Greene went on The View and told those radical Trump deranged psychopaths that President Trump and the Republicans don't have a health care plan. He says, I truly despise this woman.
I hope that Mike Johnson is finally giving a single health care policy. I hope that Mike Johnson is finally giving a single health care policy because the country deserves it, and it shouldn't be a secret. And I shouldn't have to go into a skiff to go find our Republican health insurance plan.
Maybe
Honestly,
there is no plan.
You know what? You want to know something? That, I believe, is the truth. There's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of bills, but there's no consensus. And I think that's a failure. I do. I hope that Mike Johnson is finally...
Well, how about you go ahead? I mean, Marjorie, you are a congresswoman. You could write up a bill, can't you? Here we have this. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, February 9th, 2023. I'm not a fan of the angry, nasty women on the View. That's why I went on the beautiful Laura Trump show. She called them all nasty, angry women, which is true. Both parties are to blame, she writes. I come from a working class family.
Republican. Here's something you all may not know about me. I think a lot of people on the left are learning that when I ran for Congress in 2020, I ran criticizing Republicans and Democrats equally because I come from a working class family, ran a construction company for over 20 years, and I feel like the government has failed all of us. And it purely disgusts me. It really does. And I represent...
Well, look, you have to criticize both parties. You know, you may think of me as, just a Trump cheerleader or something like that, but you have to criticize Republicans. I criticize establishment GOP all day long because they are the right and left leg of the same pair of pants. They do more damage when they have bipartisan legislation. So I have nothing wrong with her criticizing both parties here.
In a district that is rural, manufacturing district, blue-collar workers, and people have been crushed by decades of failure in Washington, D.C. And so I have no problem pointing fingers at everyone. And the worst thing that I that I just can't get over is we're not working right now. And I put that criticism directly on the Speaker of the House. And we should be at work. All the people sitting in this audience, they go to work every day. People at home watching this show, they go to work every day. Ladies, you go to work every day. The people on your set, and it is an embarrassment to me that we're not in session.
And getting paid.
I'm not taking a paycheck.
Good for you. Exactly.
I'm not taking a paycheck.
Exactly. Good for you. I think you're one of the only.
Wow, absolutely bizarre to see her sitting there on The View. I do have to say this. Let's see. Okay, this is a gotcha question. Marjorie Taylor Greene stuns the host of The View with calm, considered response to a gotcha question from Whoopi Goldberg.
Hearing how do you think it's a good idea for the military to be marching into our cities and towns right now because maybe people don't like the speech that they're hearing? How do we combat that and get back to going after the people who really are the problems?
Well, on free speech, I want to say that I think that all of us right here are doing a great job of exchanging our ideas and things that we believe in, and we're doing it in a very professional and kind way. And in my opinion, I think we need more of that in America. I really do. And a lot of people wanted me to come on the show and say nasty things and all of us to fight. They wanted all of us to fight.
Thank you for not doing that.
Oh, my goodness, no. I didn't want to do that.
It's like 5-1.
She could handle it, but she didn't want to.
No, I didn't want to do that today because I believe that people with powerful voices like myself and like you, and especially women to women, we need to pave a new path. This country, our beautiful country, our red, white, and blue flag is just being ripped to shreds, and I think it takes women of maturity to sew it back together.
Do you think it's a good idea for the military to be...
And we do need to have people going to the same table, having conversations, because that's how we learn from each other. So I do give her a lot of props for going on The View. Trending Politics writes, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene claims that very weak and pathetic MAGA social media influencers were paid to attack her for going on The View.
59% of Americans.
Taylor Greene, Sonny has the next question.
Thanks, Whoopi. So it's November 4th. It's Election Day, and there are some key races for governor in New Jersey and Virginia. The New York City mayoral race, they're garnering sort of nationwide attention. And as voters head to the polls, 59% of Americans disapprove of how President Trump is handling his job, according to an ABC News, Washington Post, Ipsos poll. So there are a couple. Do you think these elections will be a referendum on Trump's agenda and the Republican agenda? And with the GOP House majority being so slim already, are you worried about 2026? Because the Democrats only need 3 seats net to take over the House.
Right. Well, so in 2024,
Wait till you see what I got lined up for you next. This is good.
24, Kamala Harris won Virginia, Kamala Harris won New Jersey, and Kamala Harris won New York, of course. The Democrats, of course, won New York. So I think this election is actually a referendum on where is the Democrat Party. Looking with Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, and I think it'll be interesting how it turns out today here, as well as those governor races.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't, if I lived here, I wouldn't vote for Andrew Cuomo. I was very much against, of course, all these women came out with accusations against him, which I found pretty disgusting. And then the COVID lockdowns and all the people's parents and grandparents who died in nursing homes.
Wait a second, you would vote for a Democratic Socialist?
I would vote for the Republican candidate.
Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa?
Yes, yeah.
Well, he hasn't got...
That makes more sense, Joy. You jumped to Mamdani.
Yeah, but as far as the House is concerned, historically...
We're criticizing you for coming on this show. I think you mentioned it already, that there were a few. And you called them, quote unquote, I believe this is you, mostly weak Republican men. So would you like to name names?
Yeah. Well, there's I think think there's a lot of paid social media influencers. And I found it very interesting that they were the MAGA accounts, but they're all paid, and they all attacked me when I announced I was coming to join you ladies on The View. And I think that's very weak and pathetic. But when I talk about weak Republican men, I'm pretty much talking oftentimes about the leadership in the House and the Senate.
Okay, so Marjorie Taylor Greene goes on The View, has a conversation with them, doesn't take debate. But who will ever forget this moment when Alex Jones went on The View in 2011, walking into that den of vipers?
I've known Charlie.
The radio show host and close friend of Charlie Sheen, the man he was talking to, Alex Jones. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
This is one of the greatest View moments in history.
If I could just say one thing, I've known Charlie for about 6.5 years. He's never drunk alcohol, used drugs in front of me. He's been completely clean for almost a decade until about 7 months ago. Now he's come off the drugs and the alcohol, which is almost like, being off your meds. It has the same effect. So he's supercharged. He's angry. He's focused. And I know that when they interviewed him at his house, because I talked to him, they interviewed him for about 2 hours. And that's a little kind of joke that's out of context. He's tired of being judged and him being held up as the ultimate demon in this world. He didn't kill 1 million people in Iraq. He wasn't involved with the takedown of Building 7 here in New York. And he thinks there's bigger devils out there. But Charlie's tired of being held up like the devil. We got the TSA putting their hand down people's pants. Infowars.com covers it all. We've got the banks bankrupting the U.S.
Wait. Let's stick with Charlie, because that's way too much for me, man.
Charlie is mad because he's held up as all the problems. He didn't steal $23.7 trillion like the Federal Reserve.
We're just here to figure out what is happening with Charlie. That's what we're trying to figure out.
And he's doing interviews now, so he has a chance to speak for himself. And
but they're taken out of context.
Look, they are not there. You don't know. You haven't seen them.
Oh, they've been comparing him to Gaddafi.
Look, I was just saying, I don't think I
Let's
haven't
compare
heard
George Bush, $1 million Iraqis, to Gaddafi.
We can really go there right now.
Torture, secret arrest. America's turning into a police state.
We're going to come here and go there. We're asking you about your friends.
Excuse me. I think we were here to talk about Charlie Sheen. I'm not trying to cut you off.
Charlie says you have a right to kill him, but not to judge him, as Colonel Kurtz said.
Thank you. You are certainly a wonderful friend.
And helping
yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Charlie, stay clean. We love you. And everybody else out there, stay clean. Don't use drugs. Infowars.com.
That's a good message. Okay. The radio show host and...
Oh, yes. Yeah. Even Alex Jones went on The View. If you got value with this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is the test for the America First movement. MTG made a calculated choice, reach beyond the base or stay in the echo chamber, while she called out both parties for failing workers while Congress takes endless vacations. She refused to give The View their viral fight clip. Some call it growth, others call it betrayal. But here's the question for the comments. Can we win by only talking to ourselves? MTG says powerful women need to lead the healing. Loomer says she's going Democrat. The movement is fracturing over tactics while Democrats laugh all the way to electoral victory. Should conservatives appear on hostile media to reach new voters, or is that automatically selling out? Yes or no? Because if we can't figure this out, we'll be talking to ourselves while losing the country. Grab your merch and show where you stand in this fight. Alex Jones on The View, man. As that clip was playing, I was like, oh, man, I remembered it. And I'm like, I hope someone posted it. And I was able to find it real quick. Beautiful addition to that little segment there. Tom B420 with the beautiful addition to our Super Chat fund today. $5. Thank you, sir. Putting us at $106.98. We did it, guys. We hit our goal. But the show must come to an end. What we whiz tonight, 5 stories that prove America stands at the crossroads of history. The Democrats' shutdown, soon to be the longest ever at 36 days, it's not about budget numbers, it's about raw power. They're willing to starve families on food stamps, risk air travel disasters, and destroy federal workers just to block Trump's agenda. They've turned governance into a hostage crisis, and every American is a victim. Arctic frost continues unraveling the deep state's darkest secrets, CIA resources weaponized against American citizens. Hillary Clinton protected by a black ops program funded with your tax dollars. James Comey orchestrating it all from the shadows. This is not conspiracy theory anymore. It's documented fact emerging from brave whistleblowers who've had enough. The arrest of Trent Schneider shows just how dangerous the left's rhetoric has become. Death threats are now their standard operating procedure. Trump officials in military housing, bounties on conservative leaders, social media platforms allowing assassination fantasies while banning conservative speech. The temperature is not just rising, the pot is boiling over. And Nancy Pelosi's exit marks the end of an era of corruption. $250 million richer after decades of public service. Stock trades that would land you or me in federal prison. She's cashing out before the investigations begin, hoping to enjoy her ill-gotten gains in peace. But justice does have a long memory, and Americans won't forget. And MTG's appearance on The View, it's splitting the movement at the worst possible time. Some see strategic brilliance, expanding the message beyond the echo chamber. Others cry betrayal. Another conservative seduced by mainstream acceptance. While we fight among ourselves about tactics, the left marches forward, united in their destruction of America. So here's what connects these stories. The establishment's desperate. They're pulling every lever, pushing every button, crossing every line. From shutdowns to death threats, from CIA conspiracies to insider trading, from media manipulation to movement division, they're throwing everything at the wall right now. Why? Because they know their time is up. The American people have been awakened. We see through their lies, their theft, and their treason, and they're terrified. So thank you to everyone who sent in Super Chats and Rumble Rants tonight. Your support keeps independent media alive when big tech wants us silenced. Keep telling your friends about the show. Word of mouth beats their algorithms every time. Make sure you hit up our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and wear your values proudly. We'll be back tomorrow with more truth bombs the establishment doesn't want you to hear. Until then, stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay free. This is Gary Franchi for the Raw Feed. The revolution will be live streamed, and we'll see you next time.